Hello everyone, my name is Jason Tercero, and today I will be presenting my AI project, Roads Reimagined, Artificial Intelligence and the Pathway to Intelligent Transit, where we will explore the potential of AI and where it fits into the trucking industry's dynamic, and what the current state of the industry looks like. So let's get started. Here are the table of contents. Our next slides will showcase what the current state of the industry looks like to get a baseline of data to match the capabilities of AI in the trucking industry. That will be slides 3 to 5. To give you the best possible outlook on AI, I will present potential issues with AI from slides 6 to 8, and then the benefits of AI in the slides 9 to 11. Then we will follow with the SWOT analysis and how the implementation process will look like, and we finish off from there. So let's get started. There's three main key areas that have affected the trucking industry, which are cost of operations, driver shortages, and sustainability concerns. So let's begin with current expenses within the industry. Let's talk about the operational side of this. There are various challenges faced by the trucking industry, one of them being the escalating fuel costs among other operational expenditures specific to trucking. This surge in costs has charted a historical high in the industry, pushing the cost per mile beyond the previously unbreached $2 threshold, landing at around $2.25. Fuel, being the lifeblood of trucking operations, is undeniably a colossal chunk of the operational outlay in this industry. While there has been a slight reprieve with gasoline prices receding from the peaks of 2022, the current pricing structure still towers over the pre-pandemic figures, casting a long shadow of financial strain on the industry. A significant part of this surges in fuel prices finds its roots in the geopolitical turbulence emanating from the war in Ukraine, which has sent ripples through the global energy markets, thus inflating the fuel costs that are currently borne by the trucking industry. The figure of $2.25 per mile isn't merely a reflection of fuel costs, but one factor out of various operational expenses that are indispensable to the trucking ecosystem. This includes unavoidable costs associated with repairs and maintenance, trucking and trailer payments, tires, and notably, driver wages. If you put your attention towards the infographic on your right, you get a better picture of expenses in the industry. So let's break these down. 35% of operational expenses go to driver pay. The next biggest operational expense is fuel at 34%. Repairs and maintenance at 13%. Trucking and trailer lease payments are 12%. And 4% goes to insurance premiums, and the rest goes towards miscellaneous expenses. In recent times, we have witnessed a swift uptick in driver wages, a decision aimed at attracting and retaining a robust workforce amidst the industry situation with driver shortages. Each of these factors intertwines to contribute to the overall operational cost structure. This paints a clear picture of the economic hurdles that the trucking industry currently faces. We have also seen a substantial increase of insurance premiums within the industry over the last decade. Insurance premiums rising 47% over the last decade begins to take a toll, and as of 2022, at a 6.6% rate from the previous quarter that has been reported. With increases across the whole board, it's not too far-fetched to think about automation and new technologies to mitigate these rise of operational costs. To end this section, a new benchmark has been established with the hourly cost of operating a trucking vehicle skyrocketing to a staggering sum of over $90. This situation is problematic, and it very much sums up the rise of operational costs. It's an urgent call for innovative solutions to alleviate this financial bottleneck. As we move further into our discussion, a significant point will be the transformative potential of AI in recreating the financial narrative of the trucking industry. The implementation of AI technologies could potentially unlock a new world of cost efficiency and operational optimization, promising a payoff in the long term. Driver shortages have consistently underpinned the U.S. ground transportation system, a trend that remains evident even today. During the COVID-19 pandemic, as a plethora of shortages and delays unfolded, the vulnerability of many supply chains came sharply into focus. Workers were laid off, and many chose not to return to work until the situation improved, further straining the system. This, coupled with the port congestion, the transportation trucking industry was fighting with a significant shortage of drivers to transport goods from ports to their final destinations. This lack of available drivers led to considerable time losses and substantial financial costs. But what's at the root of this driver shortage? A combination of factors, some including an aging workforce. With the average truck driver aged 48, the demanding nature of the job, many drivers on the verge of retirement find few incentives to continue in a role that demands long hours away from loved ones. Moreover, their pay often doesn't reflect the harshness of the job, especially when compared to other skilled professions. These challenges deter potential newcomers. To remedy this gap, the industry requires about 80,000 new drivers, a number expected to double by 2030. On a broader scale, this looming shortage presents significant challenges, as the entire transportation trucking industry hinges on these drivers to fulfill demand, with potential revenue losses from any unmet demand. Sustainability concerns intertwine with previously mentioned driver shortages in the transportation industry. Heavy-duty transportation trucks contribute 30% to road CO2 emissions, a figure projected to rise to 40% by 2030. While other transport modes also emit significantly, trucks alone account for a third of such emissions. Consequently, seeking solutions for this issue is imperative. Technology-driven initiatives like route optimization, fuel efficiency enhancements, and vehicle tracking have made headway. However, as demand for trucking rises, so will its resultant emissions. Addressing this will positively impact the entire supply chain carbon footprint. The EPA has introduced regulations to combat this, stipulating stricter emissions rules for heavy-duty vehicles from the 2027 model year onwards. Moreover, states like California have advanced the California Advanced Clean Trucks ACT regulation, pushing for half of heavy-duty truck sales to be environmentally friendly by 2025. Driver shortages, drivers not being able to get paid enough and not too much interest within that career, rising costs of transportation would be the higher cost of gas and other costs associated with transportation, environmental concerns such as creating a sustainable supply chain overall. These are the viable reasons that plague the transportation industry. The focus here must be how we can apply the solution, and what exactly is the solution, and how it would look like when we finally implement into the transportation sector. I want you to keep this in mind as we go further into this presentation and as we talk about the potential downsides as well. For our first potential issue, we have safety and regulations. Starting off with regulations. Establishing regulations for AI and autonomous vehicles is a complex and resource-intensive process. It requires compliance to government standards. These regulations should involve requirements to safety standards and cybersecurity, both of which are important in ensuring the well-being of the public. Safety standards serve as a vital part in the adoption of new technologies, especially with those with the potential to pose risk or danger, like self-driving vehicles and everyday public roads. Regulatory bodies are responsible for meticulously testing and certifying AI-driven vehicles for safety and suitable for public roads, including stress tests under diverse conditions. This includes challenging scenarios like winter roads, rainy weather, and varying temperatures. Is all important in all scenarios. These stress tests are designed not only to assess reliability, but also to ensure the utmost safety. There should be an extensive examination of data collection involving sensor precision and software reliability. Even after regulatory bodies approve these conditions, additional regulations come into play to fortify the technology's overall dependability. But the main issue here is the time that this would take. And as we mentioned, making sure software is reliable is crucial for safety on public roads. It plays a critical role in safety standards and regulation. Now, hacks and cyber attacks. Cybersecurity is increasingly important, with wireless technologies being vulnerable to cyber attacks. Though this is a convenient inconvenience, it also introduces a substantial vulnerability. A vulnerability that can be exploited through potential cyber attacks. Cyber attacks have become more frequent, highlighting the need for robust regulations and security measures. Before, it wasn't so often that cyber attacks occur, where it would happen every few years. They have now escalated to the point where cyber attacks transpire once or sometimes even twice in a single month. An example of this evolving threat is the cyber attack that transpired in May 2021, leading to the shutdown of the Colonial Pipeline stretching over 5,500 miles across the United States. This crucial pipeline carries gasoline and jet fuel from Texas to New York, primarily along the eastern seaboard. This attack, executed via ransomware, inflicted substantial financial losses on the company, disrupting operations until it was eventually resolved. Instances such as these are becoming increasingly frequent, underscoring the pressing need to balance technological advancements and connectivity with robust regulations and security measures. To add to this, it has been found that in 2022, the trucking industry was the 9th most targeted sector for cyber attacks. This creates an urgency for effective cybersecurity measures and regulations. As technology continues to play an increasingly pivotal role in the industry, these threats are looking to occur much more often. Addressing these cybersecurity challenges will necessitate the implementation of comprehensive regulations and security protocols. Government entities like the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are expected to play a pivotal role in defining the regulatory framework. Social issues are expected to emerge with increasing complexity as AI automation gains traction in the trucking industry. A primary concern revolves around the potential reduction of drivers on the road, signifying fewer job opportunities for truck drivers. However, this transition will not occur overnight. It's not a scenario where innovation is announced one day and all drivers are phased out the next. But the reality is we will see a future where we see a decrease in the driver workforce within the industry. This situation seems like a bad one, but there are numerous advantages of AI automation that will be explored. Regardless of drivers being phased out or not, AI will definitely phase out some jobs and be able to automate them, but it's projected to increase the number of jobs, so it balances itself out. The exact figure for jobs displaced by 2030 is 400 million to 800 million, whereas the jobs created by AI would be 555 million and to 890 million by 2030. This prediction was formed by McKinsey Global Institute. The journey towards achieving full automation in trucks without human oversight is still a work in progress. In the beginning, job roles may undergo a transformation. Instead of manually operating the trucks, drivers might transition into supervisory roles, overseeing the operations of self-driving trucks. The shift mirrors the dynamics in commercial aviation, where pilots engage autopilot mode yet remain vigilant to ensure safe travel. When it comes to the shift to AI automation, there have been legislative efforts like California's Assembly Bill 316 aiming to protect trucking jobs by requiring human supervision for self-driving vehicles weighing over 10,000 pounds. Yet we will still see some companies like Tesla, Google, and Uber that are propelling the industry towards automation by testing self-driving technologies on public roads, thus setting the stage for a transformative impact on employment within the trucking sector. While the pathway towards automation unfolds, the intersection of technology, employment, and legislation will continue to be a focal point of discussion. reflecting the broader societal implications intertwined with AI-driven automation in trucking. Now, how would the competitive landscape look like when we move towards automation in the trucking industry? With some players finding themselves outmatched by larger entities, this gap stems from the steep initial costs associated with the adoption, testing, and development of automated technologies within their fleets. It's far from being readily adopted, it's a massive challenge. Smaller, less established companies lacking the necessary capital reserves will likely struggle to sustain the long-term development and integration process required. Industry giants like Tesla, Waymo, and Daimler are pushing substantial investments into these technological adoptions, which propels ongoing advancements. Their financial power is building a barrier for new entrants, which is potentially skewing the competitive landscape. The heavy capital expenditure and the associated risk is creating an ecosystem where larger firms are set up for success, pushing towards a potential monopoly. However, technology's march towards affordability through economies of scale and extended developmental timelines suggest that in the future, integrating AI into fleets won't be as financially daunting as it is in these beginning stages. Yet, for the moment, the cost and risk factors are significant hurdles that shape the competitive terrain. Some firms are hesitant to stake their futures on such high-risk ventures, which hampers their ability to embrace and integrate AI within their operations. The imbalance is evident, and while its full impact is yet to unfold, the trajectory of it seems clear. It doesn't require much to forecast the potential marginalization of smaller players. As the adoption of this technology spreads and we accrue more industry insights, we'll be better positioned to decide the shifts within the sector's hierarchy, identifying which companies shoot up to dominance and which ones are relegated. With time, as firms embrace AI, it will eventually reveal the shape of the trucking industry's competitive landscape. Let's begin with the first benefit of AI implementation. If you look to your right at the pie chart, the analysis from the earlier infographic shows us that the trucking industry has massive expenses towards driver salaries, fuel costs, and maintenance. These are the primary financial burdens. AI technology holds the potential to significantly impact each of these areas. So let's look at driver pay, which constitutes over a third of operational costs. The integration of AI and automation could revolutionize this aspect. Currently, human drivers are essential, but with the advancement of AI, we are moving towards a future where trucks could be fully automated. This shift is particularly relevant given the current driver shortage in the industry. Despite increased wages, the lack of willing drivers remains a challenge. AI-driven autonomous trucks could alleviate this issue, potentially leading to massive cost savings. However, it's crucial to consider the ethical implications and the impact on the workforce during this transition. Next, let's examine fuel costs, which account for about 34% of trucking operations. AI can optimize fuel efficiency far beyond human capability, especially over long distances. While experienced drivers can manage fuel consumption to some extent, AI, with its capacity to process vast amounts of data, can achieve greater efficiency. Studies indicate that AI automation could reduce fuel costs by around 11%. While this might seem modest, it translates into significant savings over time, about $7.5 million annually based on current diesel prices. The extent of these savings is influenced by the level of automation. Higher levels of driverless autonomy lead to greater efficiencies and cost reductions. Finally, maintenance and repairs, accounting for about 13% of total expenses, can also benefit from AI. AI systems can predict when maintenance is needed, streamlining the process and potentially reducing costs. The proactive approach to maintenance not only saves money, but also enhances safety and operational efficiency. It's important to note that AI and automation in trucking are still developing. As this technology matures and higher levels of autonomy are achieved, the potential for cost savings and efficiency gains will increase. However, this progression must be carefully managed, considering the broader implications for the workforce and industry standards. I want to aim your attention at the graph right under that pie chart to your right. The chart displays the differences of MPG, or miles per gallon, for the autonomous software driving the truck and a manually driven truck. We see that the given different scenarios, like highway cruise, a manual driver obtained 7.54 mpg, whereas the autonomous driven truck got slightly more at 7.97, which is almost a 6% change. In the scenario where a car cuts in front of the truck, it gained an efficiency of 27%, and following a slow vehicle gained a change of 10%. The data here shows us what the level of efficiency can be compared to a manually driven truck. Now, let's shift focus to the sustainability aspect of AI in the trucking industry. We see its significant impact in reducing fuel consumption and thereby decreasing harmful gas emissions. The data provided by TuSimple on the potential of level 4 autonomy in trucks paints a compelling picture of environmental benefits. With an 11% reduction in fuel usage applied to just 20% of trucks in the US, we could save approximately 279 million gallons of gas. This figure is incredible, considering it represents only a fifth of the national fleet. Implementing this to the entire fleet, the savings would exceed 1 billion gallons of gas. These numbers aren't just financially significant, they hold substantial environmental value. In terms of carbon emissions, this reduction in fuel usage translates to a substantial decrease in atmospheric carbon. Specifically, implementing this level of AI efficiency in 20% of the trucking fleet would cut about 2.8 billion kilograms of carbon emissions. To put this into a better comparison, I have two examples here for you. First, the automobile emissions. The average commercial car emits 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide annually. The carbon savings from just 20% of the US truck fleet is equivalent to removing approximately 618,000 cars from the road. This comparison highlights the vast scale of emissions reductions achievable through AI in trucking. A second example is the household energy consumption. The average household consumes about 10,972 kilowatts an hour of energy each year, leading to emissions of 4,251 kilograms of CO2. The emissions saved through AI implementation in trucks is akin to offsetting the carbon emissions of 629,000 homes. This comparison sheds light on the broader environmental impact beyond just the transportation sector. These examples tells us the significant AI role that it can play, not just enhancing the efficiency and profitability of the trucking industry, but also contributing in a much broader sustainability goal. The potential environmental benefits are immense, indicating that AI advancements in trucking could be a critical part in global efforts to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. Now, in the picture to your right, we can get a good estimate on the potential of the benefits of AI when it comes to sustainability. Here we see a fleet of 500 trucks and an annual mileage of 120,000. It's estimated that you can save 849,000 gallons of fuel, which equates to $3,600,000 saved, and 19 million pounds of carbon emissions saved from the atmosphere as well. The last benefit is safety. Addressing safety in trucking, a sector where incidents remain a significant concern, AI technology presents a transformative solution. The prospect of drastically reducing or even eliminating fatalities and accidents through AI is both intriguing and very promising. The statistics on fatalities from large truck incidents underscore the urgency of this issue. In 2019, there were approximately 5,005 fatalities, and although there's been a slight decrease in subsequent years, with 4,897 fatalities in 2020 and 4,714 in 2021, these numbers are still very high. The vision of minimizing these fatalities to near zero levels is not only ambitious, but also potentially achievable with AI's advancements in autonomy. The transition towards fully autonomous trucks offers a radical shift in safety dynamics. Removing drivers from trucks could eliminate a significant portion of these incidents, as many are linked to human error or limitations. However, it's important to recognize that we are still in the early stages of developing this kind of technology, and it's challenging to predict its future impact with certainty. Yet, with ongoing development and data accumulation, it's plausible that autonomous trucks could drastically reduce road incidents. So, two simple study comparing a manual driver with a level 4 autonomous system provides insightful data. The study, covering 80,000 miles, split between manual and autonomous driving, examined three key behaviors. That is, harsh braking, hard acceleration, and harsh cornering. So these were the findings. Harsh braking. The autonomous system had 0 to 2 instances per 10,000 miles, where manual drivers had 8 to 10. Hard acceleration. The autonomous system recorded 11 to 16 instances, but a manual driver had 99 to 106 harsh accelerations. Now lastly, harsh cornering. Here, the autonomous system showed 4 to 10 instances, significantly lower than the 118 and 189 to 189 by manual drivers. This disparity highlights how AI can enhance road safety by reducing abrupt and risky driving behaviors. Furthermore, AI's capacity to smoothly adjust to dynamic road conditions such as sudden lane changes or merging traffic further solidifies its safety credentials. By anticipating traffic flow and braking patterns of vehicles ahead, AI can contribute to smoother traffic and reduced congestion. In summary, the reduction of AI in trucking, particularly through advanced autonomous systems, holds immense potential for enhancing road safety. Not only does it promise a significant reduction in accidents and fatalities, but it also offers a smoother, more controlled driving experience. This technological gap could be a pivotal moment in achieving a safer and more efficient trucking industry. Now, what does a SWOT analysis for the implementation of AI look like? Let's start with the strengths here. Increased efficiency and cost savings. AI automation enhances transit efficiency, optimizes routes, and minimizes fuel consumption, resulting in significant cost savings. Enhanced safety. Advanced sensors and predictive analytics in AI systems improve safety by reducing human error and reacting quickly to hazards. Reduced labor costs and human error. Automation minimizes the need for human labor and therefore the likelihood of accidents caused by human error. Continuous operation. AI trucks can operate continuously without fatigue, reducing accident risks. Data-driven decision making. AI systems leverage vast data to improve operational efficiency and predictive maintenance, leading to fewer breakdowns and lower maintenance costs. Now, weaknesses. High initial investment. The substantial cost of implementing AI and automation technologies is a significant barrier, especially for smaller companies. Technological limitations. AI systems may struggle in complex environments and adverse weather conditions, at least for the time being. Dependence on infrastructure. Effective AI trucking requires supportive infrastructure like reliable internet, advanced road systems, and charging stations if they do go electric at some point. Job displacement. The potential for significant job losses in the sector could lead to resistance from labor unions and stakeholders. Opportunities. Environmental benefits. AI can reduce the industry's environmental footprint through optimized routing and fuel efficiency. New business models. Automation opens opportunities for partnerships with e-commerce platforms and logistics providers. Technological advancements. Continuous improvements in AI, machine learning, and sensor technologies can enhance automated trucking capabilities. Regulatory support. Positive regulatory frameworks could accelerate AI adoption in the industry. Those were the opportunities. Now for the threats. Regulatory challenges. Uncertain or restrictive regulations could impede the development and deployment of automated trucking. Public perception and acceptance. Concerns over safety and privacy and job losses could affect public opinion. Cybersecurity risks. Increased reliance on digital technologies raises the risk of cyber attacks. Alternative transport modes. Competition from drones or hyperloop technology could pose threats to the automated trucking industry. So overall, while the AI automated trucking industry is set to revolutionize the transportation industry with numerous strengths and opportunities, it also faces significant weaknesses and threats that could impact its growth and acceptance. So, implementing AI technology into a fleet of vehicles involves a multifaceted approach at the business level, encompassing strategic planning, regulatory compliance, and technical assessment, funding, testing, workforce upskilling, implementation, monitoring, stakeholder communication, and cybersecurity. So let's expand on each step to understand the complexities and requirements better. So for the first 5 steps, step 1, strategic planning. This initial stage is crucial for setting a long-term vision for AI integration. Executive leadership, board members, and investors collaborate to define objectives and benefits. It's essential to conduct comprehensive financial, operational, and technical analysis to grasp the full impact of AI automation on the company. Regulatory compliance and liaison. Involving legal teams and compliance officers, the phase ensures that technology aligns with legal standards and government regulations. Staying within the regulations is critical to avoid legal pitfalls during development. Technical assessment and development. Here, IT and engineering teams evaluate the necessary components for the AI system, such as sensors, software. This step is pivotal in transforming the conceptual idea into a feasible project, involving procurement and design decisions. 4th step, investment and funding. Financial officers, investors, and funding institutions play a key role in securing capital for development. Without adequate funding, essential research and development activities just can't go on. Number 5, testing and assessment. Operations teams, safety teams, and technical experts assess the AI program's real-world performance. This phase is vital for ensuring safety and reliability, leading to trust in the system. It also helps in identifying and addressing any technical issues or safety concerns. Now, the next 5 steps are in the next slide. Last 5 steps for implementation. Number 6, training and change management. To adapt to new technologies, the existing workforce needs upskilling. Human resources, training departments, and operations teams collaborate to reduce the learning curve associated with the new systems and programs. Number 7, implementation and scaling. This phase involves rolling out the AI system for business-wide use. Operations and technical teams focus on monitoring performance and addressing any inefficiencies in the process. 8, monitoring and reporting for improvement. Continuous monitoring is essential to ensure that the AI system meets expected performance standards. Operations teams, data analysts, and executive leaderships use key performance indicators, KPIs, to assess progress and direct future improvements. Communication with stakeholders. Executive leadership, public relations teams, and investors must communicate progress effectively. Transparent reporting builds trust with stakeholders and supports the perception of the company as reliable and forward-thinking. Cybersecurity and data privacy. In the final step, IT security, legal, and compliance teams implement robust measures to protect sensitive data and ensure compliance with privacy laws. This step is crucial to safeguard against cyber threats and data breaches. Each of these steps involves a detailed and coordinated effort across various departments within the organization. Thank you for listening, and I also wanted to add in that all the background images were AI generated. Just goes to show some of the pretty convenient things that AI can do for us. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you again.